I've got I've got Leah here with me too. So she's watching her show. She's, what is it, Grey's Anatomy or Chicago Med?
Chicago Med, Grey's Anatomy.
Really, is Grey's Anatomy still going on? I mean,
I've got
that's ancient.
I've got Leah here with me too.
Excellent. The more the merrier. What happened to Jerry? He just vanished on us.
I think it went double. I'm hearing myself echo.
I don't hear it.
Huh.
Shouldn't be. Let's see here.
So yeah, I saw your tag title about what did the Supreme Court vacate?
Well, the Supreme Court. I want Jerry here to talk about it. Where is Jerry? He's an empty.
Jerry is trying to fix his speaker.
I was trying to fix his sound. Okay, we'll wait for Jerry.
You're like a really conservative Catholic all there. You've got sede vacante.
They go, what?
You've got a sede vacante.
What is that?
A lot of really conservative Catholics say that the throne of St. Peter is vacant. Vacant seat means sede vacante in Latin. And so if you're a sede vacante Catholic, you think that the current Pope and lots of the recent popes have all been frauds. But now Jerry is back in his throne. So no longer sede vacante. Anyhow, no, we don't usually talk about the news on these podcasts, but I was just so aggravated today. The Supreme Court did the right thing. It said that the Biden vaccine mandate was improper, except where it really counts. I mean, it seems to me that the people who are in the healthcare industry are the best informed. They are the most sophisticated consumers of, I would hope they're the most sophisticated consumers of medical services and products in the entire world. I would hope they are. And yet Biden has, the Supreme Court has said that Biden cannot mandate, for instance, if you wanted to go, you wanted to apply for a job with American Airlines, Biden can't tell you to get a vaccine, but he can tell the people down the street at Ochsner and Two-Row hospitals to get a vaccine, and that seems totally backwards. The very first lawsuit in the United States objecting to even corporate vaccines was in fact a healthcare
suit where a healthcare worker didn't want to get the vaccine.
Jennifer Bridges out of Houston, and a judge that I had lots of trouble with back when I was living in Texas, Lynette M. He ordered her and about 1,000 other nurses and practitioners at Houston Memorial Hospital that they had to give up their jobs if they didn't want a vaccine. And these are nurses. They see the dynamics of COVID. They see the effects of vaccines, and if they say that they don't want to be vaccinated, I say that is informed that is informed rejection. The opposite of informed consent it is informed rejection.
Informed rejection, right? Mm-hmm.
At a level that is really of superior competence to any of ours, and to order to say that for the Supreme Court to say that Biden can order the most informed people to submit to something they don't want, when they can't order the rest of us to get the same thing. I feel like the Supreme Court is showing just arbitrary and capricious holes in their head. It makes no sense to me. Jerry, your thoughts on that? Well, you have to turn on your sound or your thoughts won't mean much to us.
Leah, what are your thoughts on that since you're wanting to work in the healthcare industry, like as a nurse?
Oh, freaking
Vaccine?
What the heck? That stuff kills you.
Says you wouldn't get a vaccine, right?
What is wrong with Jerry? Jerry, you are being silent.
Oh, he can't get his
We can't
working again.
do at all. Please unmute.
Are we live on YouTube or?
And sadly, we are with, oh, Jerry, you're unmuted.
What did you mean? Sadly, we are.
Yes, because we look like idiots here. This is bad.
Leah, where are you going? Oh, okay. You're going to the ladies' room.
Jerry, what's wrong here? You're not showing as muted. This is weird.
Sorry, I have like bad lighting, and my teenager likes a dark room. So
You're fine. You're fine. We can see you just fine, but not hearing Jerry is getting weird.
The what?
Not hearing Jerry is getting weird. He's talking.
So, well, I have a question. Maybe you can explain to me about like gag orders. We know they're unconstitutional, right? But the courts get away.
They are not always unconstitutional. No,
They're not always.
No, the Supreme Court has a whole line of cases on when gag orders are permitted, and right now, as far as I know, they haven't gagged Jerry, but he's acting like he's got a gag order here. Basically, gag orders are considered a form of censorship under the First Amendment, and censorship is the most outrageous infringement of First Amendment rights. But the Supreme Court has said, for example, that a court can impose a gag order, i.e. censorship, under certain circumstances. One of my favorite cases in that whole line is called Nebraska Press Association v. Stewart from
Nebraska Press Association v. Stewart. I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah, STUART in 1976, and it outlines basically it was from Chief Justice Warren Burger's era, and the Warren Burger Court is famous for its three-part tests, and typical of the Burger Court era, Nebraska Press Association v. Stewart has a three-part test for when a gag order is permissible, and the answer is it's permissible basically under have you heard of the standard called strict scrutiny? Basically the same standard that's imposed for racial discrimination. Racial discrimination is in itself is very disfavored, as is censorship, but if a government can prove a compelling governmental interest and that certain forms of discrimination or censorship are the narrowest way to achieve a compelling interest, and that the government has explored all possible other avenues to achieve that governmental interest, then censorship or racial discrimination are permitted. But it's called strict scrutiny because it's very difficult to achieve that. But in some cases, the Supreme Court has said that a judge, in order to protect the rights of an individual on trial, that is a compelling governmental interest and that a gag order is permitted. But let's see if we can figure out what's wrong with Jerry. Jerry,
Yes, I really would like to hear from Jerry because I want his perspective on this too. So,
Jerry, Jerry, where's your son? We know that your son is the expert here. Where's he? Because you're not muted. I mean, it says you are. Do you have is your microphone connected?
oh yeah, usually his son helps him with the technology, the technical.
Is your microphone connected? Is your microphone on?
Okay, well, you go ahead and watch your show. I'm gonna go in the other room. You can keep watching. Yeah. Ow, ow. Oh. Why is that?
That's
Ow.
broken. That's been broken. The whole bed's broken.
Why is this on the floor where I step on it? Broken. This is broken. So now the bed's broken.
Yeah.
How did it break?
Oh no, it's perfectly fine before I left.
Really? Yeah, no, I think there might just be, okay. I don't know. All right, I'm gonna go out here.
Well, I mean, we want all your family. It's fine.
Yeah, she's watching Grey's Anatomy. Let's go check and see what.
I guess this is this is Thursday the 13th. It's an unlucky day or something.
Is it an unlucky day? Hey, we need to say hi, Hannah.
Unlucky for
Come here,
Jerry.
you say hi. Say hi to
Connectivity.
Mr. Charlie. Say hi.
Hi there.
He's over here. Say hi.
Hi.
Hello.
How do you make colored floors, like wood floors?
You say?
Oh, she's playing Fortnite.
No, I'm playing Roblox.
Oh, you're playing Roblox now?
Yeah, you can't play Fortnite on.
Little Ezra, the little prince. Hey, Betty. Still trying. Oh, come here, monkey. All right, this is my
How
grandson.
do I do that?
His name is Ezra, huh?
Ezra. Ezra
There's
means helper.
There are not a lot of Ezras in the world today. I wonder if he'll become a great poet or something.
I know.
One of my favorite
I know. What do you
poets,
think?
Ezra Pound.
Oh, I didn't. I'll have to look up. There's a poet named Ezra, huh?
Ezra Weston Lewis Pound. He was considered the founder of all modern poetry, actually.
Ezra West. I love to read poetry. My literature class was one of my favorite classes I took in my master's, or no, my bachelor's.
Well,
The
you really
bachelor's.
you really should
took-
know Ezra Pound then.
Yeah, you know, I took an American literature class. They never. That is one poet I did not come across. I had to evaluate a lot of poetry, but that's one poet I didn't hear about.
I can't believe that. Have you heard of T.S. Eliot?
Yes. T.S. Eliot was in my literature class. I did have to have to write a paper on some on T.S. Eliot, I believe.
You remember T.S. Eliot's poem, "The Wasteland"?
I don't think I've read that one.
Well, that's one of the greatest poems of the 20th century.
I'll have to look that one up.
Yeah, and anyhow, "The Wasteland." T.S. Eliot dedicates "The Wasteland" to Ezra Pound, il miglior fabbro, the greater craftsman. Basically, the T.S. Eliot's whole genre of poetry is called symbolism, and Ezra Pound is considered the creator of symbolism, the inventor of symbolic poetry in 20th century English. So, yes, Ezra Pound, the cantos are considered his greatest collection, but T.S. Eliot produced actually a lot more. Maybe you read Prufrock or with the love song of J. Alfred Prufrock?
No, I'm trying to. It's been like 8 years since I took that literature class. It was a long time ago. I can't even.
The Four
Gosh.
Quartets.
Yeah, it was a long time ago that I took that class.
Well, anyhow, I wonder if, I mean, I guess we just have to keep on talking. and with
Well, I'm curious. I have a question about the, okay,
about gag orders. That's an interesting.
yeah, so like with DFACS, when they gave us our kids back, the order where they gave us custody and gave us back our kids, all the order said was that as long as we complied with everything in their case plan and everything that all the service, the things that they wanted us to do, that as long as we did that, they would give the kids back and they would close the case. But the order didn't mention anything at all about that gag order or dismissing it or vacating it, whatever it is that they do with a gag order. The judge's final order gave us custody of the kids back. They mentioned nothing about that gag order. So like, does it still stay in effect? Does that mean my kids can't talk about it until they're 18?
Was it, I guess what I'd have to find out is, was it ever a valid gag order to begin with? Did it comply with the three-part test of Nebraska Press Association v. Stewart? Because if it was never valid to begin with and it was never reaffirmed, I'd say no. And it probably wasn't valid because most family law, family court, most family court orders are not valid because they make no findings at all about a compelling governmental interest. They make no findings at all about least restrictive method of enforcing or achieving that governmental interest, and they make no findings at all about having explored other alternatives. If you ask a family court judge what his compelling interest is, he'll probably say it's in the best interest of the child, but that's not sufficient to abrogate a fundamental right, and the First Amendment is a fundamental right, obviously the right to freedom of speech. So, the example might be if there's been a history of abuse or something like that, if there's been a history of slander, if one
podcast. It's a podcast. Jack.
I'm looking for my vape.
Oh,
Jack.
yeah. This is Jack, my husband.
Hi, Jack. How you doing? Jerry, are you ever going to speak to us?
Yeah, Jerry, can you get your technical stuff on?
I guess it's
Figured out.
I guess
Where's his son? Does his son? Yeah, his son usually fixes his technical issue.
Oh, there it is on the floor.
just 2 weeks ago, I was thinking of T.S. Eliot, just to go back to T.S. Eliot. Hello.
Did you want to weigh in or talk? We were talking about the defects issue, about all the 2 years of what we went through and what that was like for you.
No, because there's litigation that still hasn't been done.
That litigation is completely separate from that.
No, it's not.
They're not tied together. One's
Yes, they are.
criminal and one's.
It doesn't matter. They're still tied together.
Oh, okay. Okay.
Well, we're entitled to talk about ongoing litigation. I don't know if you've noticed all the talk that's going on about Prince Andrew. You would think he's one of the most powerful and immune people in the entire world, but people can't stop talking about.
Yeah, Prince Andrew, I know.
Or, I mean, it's just symbolic. I mean, all cases basically are political. That's what's interesting. All cases are political, and the essence of politics is public discussion. And I think that typically lawyers will say that you shouldn't talk about litigation if you've got big secrets. You know, example, you used to live in Georgia, and Georgia is the home of a little soft drink company called Coca-Cola. Well, one time somebody was suing Coca-Cola for unfair competition, and they did some discovery, and they got an order that Coca-Cola had to disclose on the record the formula for Coca-Cola. And guess what? Rather than talk about it publicly, Coca-Cola settled immediately.
Settled, yeah. I think they settled for a few million, wasn't it? I remember reading about that.
I think it was closer to a few hundred million, actually.
Yeah. Oh, was it few hundred million?
Yeah, it was a very
Yeah,
large.
about the formula for Coke. I remember reading about that case. I do, in my research where I was going across cases. That was I want to say that was in the 60s, wasn't it? Wasn't it in the 60s?
A long time ago. But you know, here's the thing. What I'm saying is, unless you have a secret like that would destroy your business and, you know, put you out of business forever, or let everybody else in on your business. Jerry?
Do we get Jerry yet? Is he still trying?
So disappointing.
Can he hear us at all?
Yeah, I think he can hear us. Yes. Jerry, you can hear us, right? I'm not sure. Maybe he can. I thought he could. Can you hear us, Jerry? Now you can hear me. You're not just reading my lips, are you? Lynette?
Yeah, I can hear you fine, but I don't see Jerry. Oh wait, I see Jerry. Can't hear you, Jerry. He probably just has to click something, you know, to get the computer sound to work.
I think his microphone is off or something.
Is he muted?
No, he's not. Look at it. It gives the option to mute him.
Oh yeah. Because when you look, I see it would have a line through the microphone that someone's muted.
This has never happened before. I'm sorry, Jerry. I wish I could figure out what to do. I know what to do. I'll call Sean. He couldn't join us, but maybe he can at least troubleshoot. He's the
a tech wizard.
Yes, Sean is awesome. Hey, is Sean there? Anyhow, I highly recommend, Lynette, that you read Ezra Pound and T.S. Eliot. And I was about to say that 2 weeks ago was the feast of St. Thomas Aquinas. Sean.
Yeah, the feast of St. Thomas Aquinas, wasn't it?
Sean, would you mind getting on real fast? We can't unmute Jerry, and I know that you'll be able to figure this out.
Yeah, okay. All right. Did you send me the link?
Yeah, sure. Hang on. Let's see. What is okay, I'll have to do it by email. I'll have to invite you. That's right.
Yeah, just send me an email. Okay, I have to go to another location. I'll link up to you.
Okay, I just sent you an invitation. Sean Donahue has been invited.
Okay, I'm gonna hang up here and I'll link up there.
You bet. Sure. Sean is great. Sean is great. But anyhow,
yes, he's very knowledgeable.
2 weeks ago was St. Thomas of Becket, and T.S. Eliot wrote an entire poetic play about Thomas of Becket called Murder in the Cathedral. And your kids might even enjoy that. The story of they made several movies about it actually. The story of Henry II and Thomas à Becket in the 12th century, early medieval English history. And when I was a kid, we put on a performance of that play for a church about St. Thomas à Becket. Have you ever been to England?
I have not. My mother and father went there, and they took my brother one year. I was so jealous. I wanted to go, but they took my brother. Yes, I've always wanted. Yes, I've always wanted to go to England and see Stonehenge, because my father's ancestors owned Stonehenge. I believe I told you that, didn't I?
Oh, you didn't. Now that's an interesting story.
Yeah, my father's family ancestors going way back to the Queen, like before that. But his family ancestors gave Stonehenge to the Queen.
What was it? What was the name of that family?
Chubb, Chubb.
That now is a big name in insurance.
Yeah, Chubb Insurance. Yeah.
Jerry, what are we going to do with you?
Jerry,
I've invited Sean on, and hopefully Sean will come on and
be able to figure out your technical.
figure it out.
Is it a wire that maybe needs wiggled or something?
The way he's so completely silent without being muted, I feel sure it's part of his setup over there.
Yeah, like in the computer. Like, look, a driver, it could be a sound driver, as simple as a sound driver or something.
I don't know. The computer era is so amusing in a way. I mean, we can't live without these devices, but most of us have no idea how to operate them.
Yeah, with all the Zoom and all the online that's happened because of COVID, and everybody's jumping on Zoom. It's it's definitely made things interesting and technical issues.
Getting back to your gag order for a minute, has anyone ever tried to enforce the gag order against you?
I mean, well, not really. I don't think. No. As far as trying to enforce it, no.
Let me just see here.
Pay that card thing.
Who was that? I heard a voice. Okay, Sean is saying he didn't get my invitation, so I have to try again. Again. So bizarre.
What did Sean say?
We're just cursed. It's the curse of the 13th.
What?
It's the curse of the 13th. He's not getting the invitation.
Oh, but it's not Friday. Don't say that, Charlie. It's not Friday. Oh my goodness. But yeah, I'm curious. Another thing I'd love to talk about that I'm not getting on the laptop. I'm not getting on the laptop, Haley.
I'm on a roll.
Okay. Oh, you're on a roll with
I'm at
schoolwork.
64%
Here, come in
now.
and you're at what? 60 what?
64.
Come here. I want you to jump on and say hi for a minute. Come here,
Oh,
Haley.
man, I'm stuffing my favorite food.
Well, you can come in and say hi for a minute. Come here. Haley, come say hi for a second. It's okay. It's just real quick. Just come say hi. It's okay. Come here.
No,
Come here.
no,
Okay.
I'm shy. No,
Okay.
I don't want it.
This is Haley.
Hi there. How you
She's my
doing?
shy one.
Oh, hey, nothing to be shy about here. We're all friends. We're all friends. Good to meet you, Haley. Haven't we met before? I thought we'd met before. Wasn't this shy before, was she?
Yeah, briefly. We jumped on. She's doing her online schoolwork. So what happened, Jerry? Oh my, did he make a mess and get on the carpet, Haley?
He pulled my cheeseburger off the table and it was wrapped completely. He unwrapped it and now he's eating it.
He's eating your cheeseburger. Oh.
Good to see you. Now, what can we do? Oh, I like that hat. I like that hat so much. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a great hat.
I want a hat like that. That's just great.
Can you guys hear me?
Can hear you just fine. The only person we can't hear is Jerry.
Yeah, we can't hear Jerry.
All right, Jerry, the key to anything here is always try something. If it doesn't work, try something else.
Haley, I gotta get in my email for just a second. I gotta do something real quick in my email.
We
Just,
forgive you.
just open a tab for me.
Jerry, if you might have tried this already, but try going to where the microphone is. It says mute, and there's a little up arrow to the right of mute. I'm sure you've done it. Let's just drill through it. Anyway, you click on that up arrow. It's like the carrot. It's the thing it looks like that thing that's on the top of Shift 6. Click on that, and then you see a bunch of choices for select microphone and select speaker. Sometimes if you just unselect it and select the other one, then select back. Like it says select system or select the choice. Sometimes you just go back and forth and all of a sudden it works. Nobody knows why.
I like your highly technical analysis here. I like your highly technical analysis here. It's pretty funny.
So you would need to see the order. But I did have a question. Like, I mean,
Jerry, is it your mic or just your speaker?
let's fix Jerry first. I won't.
Jerry.
I don't want to.
Wait, say something, Jerry.
His lips are moving.
This is comical.
All right, I can't.
It's like what was the silent movie? Who was he? The pantomime.
But Jerry,
was
can you
that?
hear us? Can you hear me? Okay.
Can you hear us? You can hear
Okay.
us?
Then if you go to that little microphone thing and you click that little carrot on the right of the microphone, have you tried changing the microphone too? Sometimes in some things, the microphone and the speaker is the same device.
Or maybe try leaving the Zoom and then coming back in. Sometimes
might
that
work too.
works. Leaving the Zoom and coming back in, because sometimes it can reconnect and yeah.
Were you able to hear Jerry for a while?
Never.
Mm-mm.
No. I mean,
No.
we've been going for like half an hour and or maybe 40 minutes, and this is not.
I think maybe, Jerry, do you have another something else open that's using the microphone? That's another option. Do you have an external microphone? No.
Oh, he doesn't have an external mic. Hmm.
Well, I think he's going to log back in, if I understood, Charles.
For some reason, this reminds me of back in high school. I think in high school we were studying Birth of a Nation, famous D.W. Griffith movie about Georgia, as a matter of fact, in our film history class, and one of my friends from high school, I'm still in touch with him, lives up in North Carolina now. He made his own spoof of Birth of a Nation called Birth of a Nitwit. I'm feeling a little bit that way now.
So,
Well, I don't know-
oh,
I
did
don't know
he
if
try
he's-
to leave and come back?
We could start all over again. I don't know if that'd help or not, but I mean, you see, all of us are fine. I mean, Sean just came on. I mean, Sean is going to win an Oscar just for that hat.
I mean, gosh, yeah. I'm telling you.
I have to. I'm really behind on my stuff though. I have to go.
understand, but your fedora just inspires me. What can I say? I'm going to start wearing a fedora like that for these podcasts. You're bald like I am, and I've got to cover up too. What can I say?
All right. Well, if he comes back and he wants my help, he should try to do a private Zoom meeting with me. Can you tell him to do that?
I'll tell you what. Do you want to try to call him? Can you call him directly? Let me send you his phone number by chat, so I don't have to announce it to the whole world.
Yeah, do that, and then I'll call him and I'll just see if I could connect with him. If I could connect with him, then
Do you see his phone number?
just send it an email to me or something.
Yeah, I sent it by chat.
Chat. All right, let me look.
So, question. I guess I'll have to probably go to Walmart. Isn't Walmart paying like? Oh no, we don't want to advertise Walmart.
I mean,
Target.
we can't.
No, I haven't gotten it yet.
Say again?
I didn't get it. The telephone number?
Oh, it's in the chat. Yeah, he put it in the chat.
Oh, wait. Okay, I'm looking in the wrong chat. Hang on.
Yeah, in the chat.
All
Oh,
right,
that's Jerry's number.
yeah, okay. Before.
So,
All right, I'm gonna mute myself, and then when I call him, I'm gonna mute myself so you guys don't hear me. When I talk to him, if he wants me to open a
Okay.
separate meeting with him, I'm just gonna hang.
Okay, cool.
okay, yeah, because I have a question for Charles.
Okay, we can talk about something.
Okay, I have a master's degree. I have an expansive resume with a lot of education experience, but where can I find a job with pending criminal charges against me? Because obviously it's going to show up on a criminal background.
I mean, obviously that's a matter of individual employer choice. I mean, what have people told you about that? Because pending charges is not a conviction.
Right. I know.
And so that you don't have a criminal record. So they shouldn't be discriminating you against at all. But I guess they're worried that, you might,
In case something does,
you might become unavailable is the problem, right?
I guess.
And so in a sense that's part of what we need to be doing on this podcast, but we haven't yet ever even discussed your criminal case on the podcast, and maybe we should start now. I mean, if the gentleman who came on the screen is no longer going to be sort of a factor, I know that he's the reason you haven't discussed it so far because he's worried about it, but I think we should be attacking and we should be analyzing and dissecting the charges.
Well, I mean, I tried to ask my lawyer, I texted my lawyer and said, is it taboo? I mean, can I not discuss anything, about the case on social media? And he never answered me. He never answered me back one way or the other.
In your criminal case, there's not even a gag order. So the answer is no.
The answer is what?
Todd, would you like to get on a podcast on family law and unjust criminal prosecutions?
And when's that?
Right now.
I'm not at home right now.
Oh dear. Okay, well I am, but I saw you, and I'd love you to meet Lynette Beavers.
I can try. How long you be on the line?
We're gonna, we probably another half hour or so at least.
I'll see if I can get on. I was gonna ask you, how can you judge the Supreme Court make opposing rulings?
I think it's fascinating, and that was actually the first thing I discussed.
Yeah, we were discussing the Supreme Court. Yeah, that's just
So,
unbelievable.
Come on, we'll
It's purely opposing rulings. Are you doing it by phone or by internet?
by Zoom. I'll send you the link right now, okay?
Send me the link. Bye.
Okay.
Supreme Court blocks Biden's vaccine mandate for large employers. So, yeah. But the justices allowed a vaccination requirement for healthcare workers at facilities that receive federal money.
Which is everyone in the world. I mean,
Right, pretty much, right? Exactly.
there's
Because,
no hospital,
right.
there's absolutely no hospital that.
The Supreme Court on Thursday blocked the Biden administration from enforcing a vaccine or testing mandate for large employers, dealing a blow to a key element of the White House's plan to address the pandemic, as coronavirus cases resulting from the Omicron variant are on the rise. But the court allowed, the vote in the employer mandate case was 6-3, with the liberal justices in dissent. The vote in the healthcare case was 5-4, with Chief Justice John Roberts Jr. and Justice Brett Kavanaugh joining the liberal justices to form a majority. The employer decision undercut one of Biden's most significant attempts to tame the virus and left the country with a patchwork of state laws and policies, largely leaving companies and businesses on their own.
It's a very strange, but I mean, it's a very strange situation because why? I just, like I said, and as Todd was saying, it's basically schizophrenic. It's to say American Airlines, the government cannot tell American Airlines. So if you want to be a stewardess for American Airlines, they cannot make you get the vax. But and that was you were worried about that, as I recall.
Yeah, I was curious about that. I was like, can they do that? Well, so now that that's been settled, now they can't do that. So there goes all their policies, right? They can't make their flight attendants get vaccines, only healthcare field.
Now here's the thing. The very first case that I was talking about, the Houston Memorial case out of the Fifth Circuit, was not a government mandate. It was a private corporate mandate. And so I guess that private corporations, can still potentially impose private mandates, but the government can't tell them to. But the government can tell hospitals to. And so basically the Supreme Court What's going on? What's going on? Does Jack support the mandate or something?
Oh, I haven't I haven't talked to him about that. I'm not sure of his views on that. I don't think he believes in it either. He believes in the, constitutional First Amendment rights.
Well, I mean,
Right to be, that is the First Amendment right to be free in our persons and liberties. Or am I thinking of the wrong?
No. It would.
That's the seventh.
No,
Yeah.
Seventh is jury trial in civil cases.
Right.
No, not the right to be free of vaccines would be what the Supreme Court has called basically a penumbra and emanation of the Fourth, Fifth, and Ninth Amendments. The Fourth Amendment is the right to be free of unreasonable searches and seizures. The vaccine is a kind of seizure. It's also an infringement on liberty, which is a Fifth Amendment violation. And then it's an invasion of personal liberty and personal rights in violation of the Ninth Amendment, all rights reserved to the people. All rights and powers reserved to the people under the really the Ninth and 10th Amendments. And I don't know. I mean, I should pull up the Supreme Court's opinion and see what it actually says. But it's shocking, basically. It's shocking that they would do anything so.
Please stop it. Please don't talk to me.
What happened?
Just shut up. You constantly run.
Trying to find a copy of the. Okay, here we go. Today's opinion. Let's have a look at it. National Federation of Independent Business et al. Applicants versus Department of Labor, Occupational Safety and Health Administration, and Ohio et al. Versus Department of Labor. So it's consolidated on two cases, came down to it's a per curiam opinion. That's weird too. It's a per curiam opinion, no judges taking individual responsibility for it. The Department of Labor, the Secretary of Labor, acting through OSHA, Occupational Safety and Health Administration, recently enacted a vaccine mandate for much of the nation's workforce. The mandate, which employers must enforce, applies to roughly 84 million workers, covering all employers with at least 100 employees. The only exception is for workers who obtain a medical test each week at their own expense and on their own time, and also wear a mask each workday. OSHA has never before imposed such a mandate, nor has Congress. Indeed, although Congress has enacted significant legislation addressing the COVID-19 pandemic, it has declined to enact any measure similar to what OSHA has promulgated here. Many states, businesses, and nonprofit organizations challenged OSHA's rule in courts of appeal across the country. The Fifth Circuit initially entered a stay, but when the cases were consolidated before the Sixth Circuit in Cincinnati, that court lifted the stay imposed in New Orleans and allowed OSHA's rule to take effect. Applicants now seek emergency relief from this court, arguing that OSHA's mandate exceeds its statutory authority and is otherwise unlawful. Agreeing that applicants are likely to prevail, we grant their applications and stay the rule. It then goes into a history of OSHA going back to 1970 in good old Richard Nixon's day. On September 9th, 2021, President Biden announced a new plan to require Americans to be vaccinated. I'm skipping, I'm trying to figure out. Covered employees must develop, implement, and enforce a mandatory COVID-19 vaccination policy at each I want to see if Todd had come on yet. It doesn't look like he has. Nope, no Todd yet. Prior to consolidation, however, the Fifth Circuit stayed OSHA's rule pending further judicial review. BST Holdings 17 F 4th 60604. It held that the mandate likely exceeded OSHA's statutory authority, raised a separation of powers concerns in the absence of clear delegation from Congress, and was not properly tailored to risks facing different types of workers in workplaces. That's strict scrutiny, by the way, that multiple level analysis. So they're effectively applying strict scrutiny here. When the consolidated cases arrived at the Sixth Circuit, two things happened. Many of the petitioners, namely 60 in all, requested an initial hearing en banc. Wow, that's pretty unusual. That means all the judges sitting together, not just a 3-judge panel. Second, OSHA asked the Court of Appeals to vacate the Fifth Circuit's existing stay. The Sixth Circuit denied the request for initial hearing en banc by an evenly divided 8-8 vote. Chief Judge Sutton dissented, joined by 7 of his colleagues. He reasoned that the Secretary's broad assertions of administrative power demand unmistakable legislative support, which he found lacking. A 3-judge panel then dissolved the Fifth Circuit stay, holding that OSHA's mandate was, oops, Todd entered. Okay, admit. William Todd Overcash, how are you, sir? It's good to see you. William Todd Overcash, it's good to see you. Can I hear you? Can you hear me?
And yeah, I don't know. Can you?
Yes, I can hear you fine. I can absolutely hear you fine. Now
I can't see who's with you. I can't see them.
She is gone invisible. Her name is Lynette Beavers. She's from Georgia. Hey, Lynette, I'd like you to meet William Todd Overcash. Lynette was recently applying for a job at American Airlines and was concerned that she was going to be forced to get the vaccine as a condition of working there. Right now, right just as you came on, I'm reading the Supreme Court's opinion. Have you read it yet?
I've been too busy, but basically they made opposite rulings.
Yeah, I haven't gotten to that part yet, but I was just looking at the background. The Sixth Circuit concluded that a stay of the rule was not justified. We disagree. Applicants are likely to succeed on the merits of their claim that the Secretary lacked authority to impose the mandate. Administrative agencies are creatures of statute. They accordingly possess only the authority that Congress has provided. The Secretary has ordered 84 million Americans either to obtain a COVID-19 vaccine or undergo weekly medical testing at their own expense. This is no, quote, everyday exercise of federal power. In Re MCP 165 20F 4th 272. Can you believe
who was the lead justice who wrote it?
It's per curiam. Can you believe it? No judge took responsibility.
Okay, what about the ruling that medical personnel must be vaccinated?
Okay, well let me see if I can get to that.
Do you have Westlaw that I can get a copy of it and read it?
This is available on the Supreme Court's own website right now.
Send you both. Oh, the U.S. Supreme Court's website.
So yeah, so I'll send it to you both in chat, so you can.
Oh, awesome.
You can follow what I'm reading here, but this is just Supreme Court's own website published today. And anyhow, the question then is whether the act plainly authorizes the Secretary mandate. It does not. The act empowers the Secretary to set workplace safety standards, not broad public health measures. See 29 USC 655. So authorizing the Secretary to impose emergency temporary standards necessary to protect employees from grave danger in the workplace.
Ezra, no.
Rule that medical personnel can be required to be COVID vaccinated.
The dissent protests.
January 13th, 2022.
YouTube.
Supreme Court ruled Thursday that the federal government can enforce a final rule mandating healthcare workers to be vaccinated against COVID-19.
He's bumping it with his head. No, Ezra. Ezra, no.
Todd, what are you doing there?
No.
What?
What are you doing there, Todd?
I was trying to see what the order was in that healthcare thing.
I'm reading it right now. I just haven't.
No.
I'm reading it right
What's
now.
it say?
Well, okay. I mean, it's 30 pages long. I'm on page 6 right now. I've been skipping over parts. The Solicitor General does not dispute that OSHA.
Oh, I see what it is. No. Here's what they did. This is their game. Healthcare workers in facilities participating in Medicare or Medicaid, therefore must follow authority of Congress and be vaccinated.
All right, but I mean, what that excludes absolutely nobody. That's federal funding.
No, that's right. There's very few physicians who don't take Medicare. There's more who don't take Medicaid, and there are no hospitals that don't take Medicare or Medicaid because they're required to do so.
Yeah.
And I think what should happen right now is I think there's the Supreme Court ruled over 30 years ago that physicians cannot form a union. They're independent practitioners and there be violation of RICO. Now they've mandated that Medicare issue for certain procedures, they only issue one payment to the hospital. The hospital disperses that money to physicians and to surgeons and to anesthesiologists. And now with this mandate, I think effectively physicians are de facto employees of the federal government, and they should immediately form a union and challenge the previous RICO decision by SCOTUS.
Wow, that's a very interesting suggestion. We need to
And
do
I think that whoever leads that union should be a dick and ready to fucking fight them. Because I think you have grounds now to form a union.
That's fascinating. I mean, how long has that rule been in effect that doctors?
Over 30 years.
Over 30 years, okay. What was the rationale?
Hold on 1 minute. Hello? Hello? Okay, how are you?
This is turning into a very interesting podcast. Obviously, it needs some editing, but the equities do not justify withholding interim relief. We are told by the states and their employers that OSHA mandate will force them to incur billions of dollars in unrecoverable compliance costs and will cause hundreds of thousands of employees to leave their jobs. For its part, the federal government says that the mandate will save over 6,500 lives and prevent hundreds of thousands of hospitalizations. It is not our role to weigh such trade-offs.
I'm going to text him Scott's number so he can talk to Scott directly, but I'm also going to send the pictures to Scott so he knows what's going on with his boat.
It is not our role to weigh such trade-offs in our system of government.
I know Scott, just see if he can get a price on it, and then he can talk to Scott about it. And see, I think Scott's got to have a motor on it. He knows that. So. Sounds good. And you all stay warm. He had a cold last week? Did he have COVID last week? I understand. I know, but it's something you can't tell the difference between the new ones anymore. That's why it's gotten weird. All right. Well, listen, I may tell him I may need to talk to him tomorrow. I'll know early afternoon. I'm checking on something out. Anyhow, all right. Thank you. You all be safe. Bye. Okay, I'm back.
Okay, well, here's the bottom line. The application for stays presented to Justice Kavanaugh and by him referred to the court are granted. OSHA's COVID-19 vaccination and testing emergency temporary standard is stayed pending disposition of the applicant's petitions for review in the United States Court of Appeals for the Sixth Circuit and disposition of the applicant's petitions for writs of certiorari. So this is not even formally before the Supreme Court yet. They haven't accepted certiorari. if such writs are timely sought. Should the petitions for certiorari be denied, this court shall terminate automatically. This order shall terminate automatically in the petition. In the event the petitions for writs of certiorari are granted, the order shall terminate upon sending down of the judgments to the court. Now, that's on page 9. That's
Now, what does that mean? You're telling me that their judgment is not final?
It's not final at all. No, it's very temporary.
That makes no sense to me.
Well, it was an application for a temporary stay, and they have not even accepted jurisdiction over the case yet. So now Justice Gorsuch and Thomas did a concurrence here. Gorsuch, Thomas, and Alito, they appear to have concurred, but I haven't found anything about the ruling, the healthcare yet. The court rightly applies the major questions doctrine and conclude that this alone, okay. Why does the major questions, this is a weird opinion. Yeah, it's really weird. We'll all want to read this very slowly and carefully. Because they don't even have a Michael McConnell, one of my professors, is cited in here. The president who would not be king. Non-delegation at the founding. Michael McConnell. I wonder what that article's about. Anyhow, on the reference on page 5 of the concurrence, page 14 of the overall opinion, to articles by Michael McConnell and I. Werman. But let's see. Here's what I still haven't found anything about the healthcare providers. Okay, it's not in the concurrence. Justice Breyer, Justice Sotomayor, and Justice Kagan dissenting. I'm on page 19 of 30, and I still don't have anything on the healthcare mandate. So I don't know where the news media is getting that from.
Well, I'm telling you, they are making healthcare workers get it.
Okay, but I'm reading this from the Supreme Court website.
Well, they haven't put the argument up yet.
Yeah, they have. This is the opinion that was handed down today that everybody's citing. Let's see. That is especially so because Breyer, Sotomayor.
She's an idiot.
Well, they're dissenting, but they're not in the majority. They didn't decide the case. They're just all right. Okay, something weird is going on because what I just saw today. Let's see what else was decided. Is it today? Because there's nothing in 21A 244 about healthcare. I think health.
Yeah, there's another one. You gotta go look at it.
Okay, well, which one is that? Is that Biden v. Missouri?
No.
Babcock v. Kijikazi?
It's NFIB versus OSHA.
NFIB v. OSHA is the one I've been reading from.
NFIB versus OSHA.
I know, that's the one I've been reading from. It doesn't say anything about healthcare.
Yeah, it does.
Oh, does it? I'm looking. I was. Tell me what page you're on because I don't see anything about it.
It says Department of Labor, Occupational Safety and Healthcare Administration, which is OSHA.
Okay. But I mean, where's the healthcare exemption? I've just gone through the entire thing.
There's
there.
no exemption. It tells you you must be fucking vaccinated.
Where? It does not say that in any page I've read. And I sent you the link of exactly what I'm.
You can't have sex with me, then fuck you. I don't need you and don't want you.
I'm on YouTube.
I don't care. You want this divorce? You can have it, mother.
We've got separate. We seem to have a conflict of interest over what this is going on here. But okay, seriously, Todd, I do not see anything in this 30-page opinion about healthcare providers. I'll look at Medicare. Medicare, Medicaid. Neither Medicare nor Medicaid are mentioned in here. Let's see. Okay. Kijikazi is about the National Guard. Biden v. Missouri. Maybe this is it. Hang on. Okay. It's not that. It's not the NFIB case at all. It's Biden versus Missouri. The Secretary of Health and Human Services administers the Medicare and Medicaid program.
Yeah, that's what I told you. They have a right to tell you what to do if you accept Medicare, Medicaid payments.
Let's read this opinion and see what it says though. In November 2021, the Secretary announced that in order to receive Medicare and Medicaid funding, so these are two different opinions is the problem. That's what was confusing. The Biden stay has been, the Biden mandate has been stayed temporarily. But in November 2021, the Secretary announced that in order to receive Medicare and Medicaid funding, participating facilities must ensure that their staff, unless exempt for medical or religious reasons, are vaccinated against COVID-19. 2 district courts enjoined the enforcement of this rule, and the government now asks us to stay these injunctions. Agreeing that the government is entitled to such relief, we grant the injunctions. The Medicare program provides health insurance to individuals 65 and over, as well as those with specific disabilities. The Medicaid program does the same for those individuals with low incomes. Both Medicare and Medicaid are administered by the Secretary of Health and Human Services, which has general statutory authority to promulgate regulations as may be necessary. So this has nothing to do with OSHA, by the way. That's as interesting.
No, it's CMS.
It's what?
They're basically saying that because they accept Medicare, Medicare has the authority to tell the hospitals this is a requirement of their employees.
On November 5th, 2021, the Secretary issues an interim final rule amending the existing conditions of participation in the Medicare and Medicaid to add a new requirement that facilities ensured that covered staff are vaccinated against COVID-19. The rule requires providers to offer medical and religious exemptions and does not cover staff who telework full-time. A facility's failure to comply may lead to monetary penalties, denial of payment for new admissions, and ultimate termination of participation in the programs. The Secretary issued a rule after finding that vaccination of healthcare workers against COVID-19 was necessary for the safety and health and safety of individuals to whom care and facilities are furnished. In many facilities, 35% or more of the staff remain unvaccinated.
It hasn't done anything. Yeah, hint, Charles, I got to go. I'll catch you later. They basically issued opposing rulings.
Yeah, I know. I've got to read both of these. Can we do a special podcast just on your suggestion of a national strike? Because I love that idea.
Not just you and me.
Who else do you want?
You get your big boys involved.
You and I are big enough. Hang on. You're muted. You're muted, Lynette.
Ah, good thing I muted.
We lost Todd. Okay, this has been a little bit chaotic.
Yeah, we've been kind of all over the place talking about a lot of different subjects.
I've enjoyed this tremendously, and I love Todd. I'm glad he came on. Todd is one of my favorite people in the whole country, along with Jerry. So anyhow, what else do you want to talk about tonight? You're obviously having some issues. Would you like to talk about them?
Well, I just need to figure out how I'm gonna find a job with this criminal, pending criminal charges. I guess what you think it employs it's up to the employer.
Work with me as I've suggested to you. I mean, because you've got a freelance. You've got a freelance, and you can freelance as long as you are free. And nobody will question you at all. Seriously. Just give up on the idea of security, as I did many years ago. Freedom is better than security.
Yeah, I mean, being self-employed has a lot of perks, when you work for yourself and you can freelance, you can pretty much find freelance work. I mean, I know how to write, I know how to edit, I know how to proofread. I can type 70 words a minute, so I'm very marketable. So
make phone calls, and you can help us raise funds for.
Yeah. Absolutely, for the Legal Defense Fund. There's lots and lots of people out there that need help.
You're a beneficiary of that, so I mean, no reason not to. Life is exciting. What can I say? I mean, what a day the 13th has been, huh?
Yeah, this has not been a very good day for me. I haven't had a good day, but it was enjoyable being on here with you.
Well, okay. Do you want to go private offline and talk for me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.